Welcome to the Conscious Radio Network. Become enlightened, have fun, and tell all your friends and family to share with everyone they know. You can watch us on YouTube and Rumble while following us on Facebook, or find us on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Our podcasts can be found on Libsyn, iHeart, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and more. Most of all, remember to go to our official website at consciousradionetwork.com for past episodes, future shows, and scheduling. We also want to welcome our international audience. Don't stop now. Enjoy the community. Subscribe or follow today.
This is the Conscious Radio Network.
Boom, 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 boom. Good day, everybody. Welcome wherever we might be on the spaceship we call Earth. Conscious Radio Network's The Seance. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Paul Mekas. If this is your first time tuning in, please click subscribe, like, share, comment, or else follow wherever you listen to your podcasts. Today, grants and free resources uncovered. We have an electric guy on the show today. Our guest today, also known as the Free Money Guy, is a best-selling author, government grant expert, and energetic advocate for helping individuals and businesses access free resources and funding. With over 40 years of experience, he has dedicated his career in teaching others how to find money and services they didn't know were eligible for, making the impossible possible. Let's welcome to the show for the first time, Matthew Lesko.
Wow, you got quite an audience there. Thank you.
Very welcome. Very
impressive.
Welcome. Honored to have you on the show today.
Oh, thank you. Pleasure to be here. Anywhere I have a chance to try to educate people is a real opportunity.
And we need this type of education too, because there's. Let's go back in time here. How did you get into this?
Failed at everything else. I mean, we grew up in the same area of the country in northeastern Pennsylvania, and I didn't have big dreams, or maybe I'd have a store or something like that.
Yeah.
And I went away to school, got in somewhere just by the skin of my teeth, and failed out of that a few times. And there was the draft. When I'm old enough, we were the drafting for the Vietnam War. And I barely got through school with a 2.00000. Just whatever it was to get through, I got through, got out of there. And the draft was on, and I said, well, maybe I'll go to law school. I never read a book, but I don't think I go to law. So I took the LSATs, and I got 2 above plant life. So I said, well, I guess that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to get drafted. I'm not a camper. I didn't see myself camping in the jungles. So I joined the Navy, and that was pretty cool. I never had more responsibility again for the rest of my life. Ship driver in the South China Seas. Then I was a diplomatic courier in England. But listen to this. I was stationed in Scotland.
Nice.
And I'm a golfer.
There you go.
So I was like thrown in the briar patch. And basically I'm a mailman with a gun and travel around Northern Europe delivering what the hell I had. I didn't even know what they were.
Yeah.
Got out of there and started a business. But actually I went back to school. I was ready to study. And with the GI Bill, got an MBA and starting businesses. My MBA is in computers. I taught computer science at the university here. When I started a software company, it failed. Started another company, it failed. I'm going to start a business. I don't know about you, but your heritage. I mean, most of my people were grandparents came over from somewhere.
Yeah.
They're all immigrant families, and I just remember I'm a coal miner's grandson. Both my grandparents came to work in the mines. And then I was fortunate enough to go to college. So I was starting businesses, and they're failing. And then I started, when you fail a lot, then you become a consultant. So I was a consultant to Fortune 500 companies, and I was in Washington. So I'd go around Washington and find them information about markets and stuff like this, what's going on outside their company, and money programs. And I was so shocked to see all the stuff that was here. I mean, growing up, Allentown, Wilkes-Barre, man, the government to me was, the DMV,
Yeah.
the post office,
Yep.
and that's about it. I had no idea. It just shocked me. And everybody in this town here is so blasé about all this stuff. I'm, holy Christ, this is a gold mine of information and resources. And why doesn't everybody use it? Oh, the people that really realize that are all rich. So, and that's what I found. My clients, what I was doing was helping millionaires become billionaires.
Yeah.
I mean, you see look at all the billionaires following Trump around now. They know where the money is. Yep. And that's what they're. So I said, I got sick of helping rich people because they're no fun. They don't have fun. They just want money. And so I said, how do I teach the people in Wilkes-Barre about all this stuff? So at the time it was books, and I flunked English in college, so that didn't sound right. But I had an out because nothing in the government is copyrighted. So some agent found me and said, hey, you should write a book about this. So I did. But what I did was went to the government printing office, and I found a book on all the programs. I just copied the sucker verbatim. Nothing in the government is copyrighted. So I cut and pasted that, sent it to a publisher in New York. They published it, and they still publish it, but it's online now. I don't know if there's a hard copy. It's called the Catalog of Federal Domestic Assistance. And it describes all the major programs. And I just put headlines in it, because the government will call something like the Urban Homesteading Act was one of my favorite. What the hell is that? I think of Western movies, homesteaders going out and get land. No, that's homesteading because the government's stuck with property in cities that they can't get rid of, because they all the mortgages are guaranteed by the government. So when you don't pay, the government's stuck with the mortgage, and they don't do shit with it. House stands there or whatever, so they give them away for $1.
Yeah.
So when I read that description, hey, that's not the urban homesteading, that's homes for $1. Why doesn't everybody know this stuff? So it's all about marketing. And then it became a New York Times bestseller, and didn't write a lick, and tried to find my English teacher who flunked me. And that was good. So now then, helping people with books was very good. I had sold millions and millions, and then at the time, the way to sell books on this show was be a guest, and so I found out how to do that. I mean, I like entertainment. I was a professor in computer science when computers were as big as this room.
Oh yeah.
And what I found when I was teaching people, particularly adults that come and get a degree, I found I couldn't teach anything unless I kept them awake. First, you got to keep people awake. Yeah. So that's why I feel the media. Okay, if I have a chance to get on a TV show or something like that to do that, my first thing is to keep people awake. And because the media at the time, now there weren't podcasts, you talk forever, But before, you get 3 minutes, 2 minutes, minute and a half, stuff like that. So I always thought, if I'm on Today's Show or something like that, and they say, well, next is Matthew Lesko to talk about government information. So I figured, they don't know me. So I picture everybody going to the bathroom to brush their teeth. So what's in my head, I got to get those people out of the bathroom. So the host will ask me, oh, Matthew, what do I think? Man, you should have seen what I found. So I picture all over the country, people coming out brushing their teeth. What's that asshole talking about? Now I could teach you.
Yep, you got their attention.
Yeah, and that's the key. And now books didn't work. It worked financially. I sold millions and millions and millions of them. But people don't like to read books. People don't like to do stuff. People don't like to figure it out by reading. And for years after the infomercials stopped and all that kind of stuff, it took me years to figure out how do I get this information to people that they'll use it. Or actually, more important, if you're trying to survive, what will they pay for? Is the question you're at. What will people pay for? And eventually, after a lot of big false starts and stuff, is community. And people want to join community. Now I have a community, and actually by accident too. Everything happens by accident. You just try, hey, maybe this will be work, and most things don't. Actually, I've written 100 books and only 10 made money. So I know I have a success rate of 10%.
Yeah.
So I got to keep them coming. But people helping people is how they like to learn. And I see now that I'm doing it, boy, I'm really useless. I'm just the trained SEAL to get people in the tent now. Because the people, when they find something, they're more excited about it than I am. And I have 50 years of doing this, so I can't relate to somebody just found for the first time doing this. So that's what we do now. But nobody needs, the biggest thing is trying to teach people about what I call the community in our country. We have two sections, the way I see it, is we have capitalism, which if you look at all our GDP, capitalism represents 2/3 of our economy. Then we have 1/3 of our economy that is really in the community business. Okay, they're helping people just as a community, like you and I living each other, we're neighbors, we help each other, right?
Yeah.
We have churches do that. The government does that, nonprofit organizations. So all that part of the community represents 1/3 of everything in our society that we don't train people how to do. And what people do when they need help is they go to Google. And when you go to Google, you can't do that without money. So you have, 60% of the country has no money, extra money to spend. They're just spinning their wheels in there if they don't have money. So how do we teach them about this? And the fat cats know this. This is why they're prowling in Washington all the time, that the real action is in this 1/3 of our society, because it's easier for a big company to come in and find out how to finagle a law change to make $1 billion than actually create a product or something that people need. It's a lot easier. It just takes a couple of lobbyists to do that. So I'm trying to teach people how to use this because it's something they all have. I mean, just you and me from Northeastern Pennsylvania or anybody has access to it. The millionaires, like even Donald Trump, his whole success, his fathers and everything is based on government programs. And that's what it is. So how we get people to use them? I just wrestle with that. And here, I don't know if this is some interesting data I ran into here. People are getting cut out because this is the percentage of wages in this country. Okay, so 1980, you may not remember that, but I remember it well. Down here, or where am I? Okay, over here, 1980, all the wages in this country, the bottom 90% of the people had 70% of all the wages. And the top 10% had 30%. Okay, that was 1980. This is what happened since then.
Whoa.
The bottom 90% is getting less and less and less of the pie. The top 10% getting more and more of the pie. And that to me shows why people are pissed. They're getting sure. I mean, I grew up in Wilkes-Barre, man. If you didn't let me play a game, I got to fuck up your game.
Exactly.
That's the kind of mentality. Maybe that's an immigrant mentality, or I don't know. I don't feel as like an immigrant, but I'm just surprised when I think, I am. Well, here's another surprising fact, at least to me: poverty. Now, these are the poverty rates for all the developed countries. I mean, developed countries. So United States, and there's like 30 developed countries. The higher end of the scale, the income. The number one in poverty, creating poverty, is the United States. We create more people in poverty than any other developed country. I mean, the average runs about 7-8%. We're 17%. Number one. How the hell can we even accept that? I mean, that just astounds me.
Yeah, that is unacceptable. I mean, with all the resources we have, and they call us the richest country. But
exactly.
What the hell?
But there's no fear. We actually, we create more millionaires than anybody else. We've made 27 millionaires in this country. And the next is China with 6. Great Britain has like 2-3 million or something like that. But 24 millionaires. Yeah, and that's what I see. That boy, if you don't feel you're allowed to play in the game, you have nothing to do but up the game. It seems.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to show people to how, if they start using this system that the rich people use, and the other people don't think about it. There's something saying there's something bad about this. I don't care, good, bad. I don't care if you like the programs, don't like programs. I just care. You got a problem? I could show you a free source for an answer. That's all. Right or wrong, left or right, makes nothing. And actually, watching this for 50 years, they're all the same. This stuff grows no matter who's in town. That's why with who's the guy now? Trump.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be just the same. They're able to nibble around the edges, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get people to realize what is there is not going to change drastically. At least for 2 years, it won't change at all. And then when it does change, it'll just be a little bit that makes a difference in 10 years from now. But you and I won't see it. So, and to not, okay, there's a new sheriff in town and none of these grants will be here anymore. Bullshit. They're giving an average of $17,000 for every adult. Goes to every adult in this country every year. And next year it's going to be $1,000 more. $18,000. That's under Trump.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's just astounding amount. And it's all over. It's not organized, but you have to use the system, and you have to the main sin is going into Google. Let me show you a few places you could go without me, okay, that to prove that this stuff is. Are you able to go online, or is this too hard for you?
I can go online. I wanted to share your recent. Is this your recent book?
No, that's good enough. I don't do books anymore.
At least people can see it. A visual,
right, exactly. You're right.
To associate with stuff, but and then they can find you. Before we move forward further, where can people find you other than what's scrolling on the bottom?
Findhelp.org, not Lesko.com. Findhelp.org. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. No, not org. I was going to tell you find help. I'm Leskohelp.com. I'm calm. I want your money. .orgs are people who give you money.
Yeah.
But actually we do. I mean, this thing has been so profitable to me. I'm so shocked. I was just going to do it just to have something entertaining I thought I'd like to do and pay my way in life. But it became so profitable. We give out $70,000 a month in our own grants just to members. Yeah, and we only charge $20. It's surprised. So let's go. Are you on?
Yeah, let me. What should I type in?
Findhelp.org.
Findhelp.org.
All right.
Let's see if it comes here. Let me do a screen share here.
Okay.
See what.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Share. Does it look like this?
Yes. Put in your zip code.
Zip code.
Oh, this is great. See, people could see this and know it's real. Okay. So now that this says you have 1,921 nonprofit organizations in your zip code that give out money.
Wow.
Yeah. None of them will charge you anything. Never charge you anything. These are either government or nonprofit organizations. Let's put a sample. Let's put rent, R-E-N-T, up in the search bar this time.
Rent.
Okay, and up on top there, what is that number? 1 of 10 to 84? Is that? I can't remember.
64.
64. So there's 64 government offices and nonprofit organizations that help people pay rent with money.
Wow.
Never have to pay back. See, this is what I'm trying to educate people, the magnitude of this stuff. It's a third of everything. That's why, I tried to get a grant. And I made too much money. Well, shit, that means you only have 63 left to check. But we don't know that,
Yeah.
And this is back up again. So we go a new search. Just Okay, we want to do a new search. Put financial assistance. Oh no! See,
Okay.
what do you got there? 300.
I've
It's too small.
got 286
Yeah.
programs.
So there's 286 programs that give people money for their problems.
Wow.
I know. It's just astounding to me. Yeah. Uh, there's so much people out there helping each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're not asking money from you for it or anything. So that's why you go to Google, you don't see this. All you see is 2 billion websites that want your money.
And I would assume that the majority of these services and stuff, you obviously have to apply.
Yes. Oh yeah. They're hurdles and shit to go.
20 questions, 20 answer type
Right.
thing.
Exactly. Right. No, everybody has different rules, and some are easier than others. So that's why anything you say about government grants is true, and it's also false because it applies to one grant but not the others. So it's a numbers game, like getting a job or anything else. But to me, it's trying to educate people. This help is out there, but you're just not looking in the right places for it. And these people dedicate their life to helping people with these kinds of problems. Yeah. And you're sitting there with a problem, and you got to get off your fanny and start finding these people.
Like business loans, people looking for like maybe a small business loan or something.
Absolutely. Well, here's another place for that. You want to go back?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's another popular thing. See, you go to, I want to put a different URL. We'll get onto that.
Okay.
But SBA, Small Business Administration, SBA.gov, and then /local assistance, local-assistance, SBA.gov /local-assistance. See, you don't, SBA doesn't give grants anymore. I mean, they do, but it's not worth. But what they do have a wonderful database of nonprofits. There it is. Put in your zip code down there. Get local assistance. This is a database of nonprofit organizations that help people for free start a business.
Ooh.
How many you got there? Find local. Let's go down a little bit further. Yeah, there they are. You have 4. Okay. So you have 4 organizations there that get money to help you find money and help you want to grow your podcast. Okay. Make an appointment with a counselor there and see, they're helping people like you all the time. And so what happens is that people are, they're going to Google and everybody here has something to sell you. And you don't need that. You need help finding the right places for you. And it's so complicated. Yeah. There's so many programs. I mean, Florida is a hotbed for money and all kinds of money to start small mom and pop grants and everything. Yeah,
there's a lot of venture capitalism going on.
A whole lot.
Businesses moving out of other areas of the country to Florida or Texas.
Absolutely.
Some tech giants and stuff.
Right. So it's really finding those people that help you is the way to get through this fire hose of information. And you can't, and that's what they're there for. And they get paid to do that, but they don't market. And the average person can't stand a chance in Google because marketing has become so sophisticated now that when I started in direct mail marketing stuff, it took, 4 or 5 weeks to find out if an ad worked. Now it takes a half a second. So I could try, 500 different equations to see what will make your money fly in my pocket. But I'd have to wait 3 weeks.
Yeah. What are some of the misconceptions when it comes to applying for grants?
That you need a grant writer. It makes sense, but you don't. because most things, particularly, I mean, for big corporations, you're looking for $1 million to build a bridge or some shit like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you do. But for living expenses or business, or it's usually 2-3 pages, fill in the blanks. That's it. And
Yeah.
if you can't do that, the people help you fill in the blanks. They're there to get paid to do that.
Yeah.
And that's what's amazing that people don't know about. All the help that is out there, just to help you get the money. I mean, it's their job. And also, what people don't know, the rich know this: if your grant application or anybody screws you over in the government, you call your congressmen and senators, and they'll fix it for you. No matter who you are. I mean, if you get on their mailing list, you'll see, like, at the end of the year, we've helped, the 1,300, people in our district get this money from the government. They brag about it, because elected officials have power over the bureaucracy. You and I don't. We call, you wait in line, you got to follow rules and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So when they screw up and you want to get their attention, you call a senator's office, representative's office. They have backdoor offices to call, because that's where the money comes from. You and I are paying the bureaucrat's salary, but it's the elected officials who vote on how much they're getting. So that's why every agency has special phone numbers for the elected officials to call them to get their problem solved, because they want them to vote for their budget.
Oh, man.
And then you, as a constituent, if that elected official gets you that 40 grand that they were sitting on and didn't give you, you'll vote for that son of a bitch no matter what he does.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Wow.
And that's how they stay in business. I mean, they get 90% reelected all the time. They have to be kicked out of there. That's why they're all so fucking old.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of them need to
right. Move over.
leave. You need a cycle. It's time for a cycle out.
Right. Exactly.
Do you have any stories of anybody like some breakthrough? Like,
Oh,
wow.
Every day that happens. Here, I got reading a letter. That's what happened. We have hundreds and hundreds of these things. Here, I got a message from a member. He says, I'd like to tell people in Illinois to call the HUD number for questions. I finally became proactive and called on Thursday and reached a call center that HUD used as an outsource. I was pleasantly surprised when I had a very nice lady that took all the time I needed to get the information on a 203K program. I don't even know what the hell that is. I was wholly understood why Mr. Lesko says to call. See, I keep calling. You got to call people. Mm-hmm. If I hadn't called, I wouldn't have known about what this lady said were grants. I never said I wanted grants. I just said, hey, Mr. Lesko advised me that I was looking for help and to make my bathroom safe. She went on to a great deal about information available she had, and she sent me in my email so that I could follow along in her instructions on how to apply. If you live in Illinois, pick up the phone and they can help you. She even told me that the November you can get a grant for $35,000, that on December 1st, grants will be raising to $75,000. Thank you, Mr. Lesko. I love reading that stuff. It really is helpful and painless. She even referred me to another source to help me where you could get financial counseling and how to use them to get the process started for these grants. Don't worry about anything else and call. Effort is involved, but it's worth the effort. She explained to me that I could get $35,000 grant, as she called it. It can be gotten until the end of November. Then you turn right back around and apply for a $75,000 grant a few days later. That's $110,000 worth of help in remaking our home. I'm going to try for the grant for my bathroom and then one for the kitchen. Wow. I mean, it's there, and because it's not on anybody's radar, they don't think about it. but it's really important. It can change people's lives. I mean, you have credit problems. You go to HUD.gov/counseling. They have free credit counselors all over the country that get paid to help you get out of debt. You're going to go to Google, you're going to get 2 billion websites, and half of those are investigated by the Federal Trade Commission for scamming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's if you don't have money, it's too dangerous in Google. You have to go outside of that and get on the phone and start talking to people. And actually, a good place too is your library. They know this stuff, but people don't go there anymore. And see, most of this stuff is local. See, even though it's federal money, it's down locally, and it's and healthcare is the same way. In Florida, if you go to needymeds.org, now that's a website, .org, so nobody there is going to charge you anything. They'll show you all the programs, get your medications free, all the free and low-cost clinics, all the free places where they give grants if you need transportation to go see a hospital or things like that, or an expert somewhere, money to live on while you're recuperating from an ailment, things like that, money to pay your hospitals. 70% of the people that get a hospital bill don't realize they don't have to pay, but the hospital doesn't tell you. Because they're mostly run by hedge funds now, so and so they don't tell you, and so you have to be armed with this, and you don't have to pay, and that's for incomes up to $100,000. I mean, it's crazy stuff. I mean, that's what I used to think. Poor in Wilkes-Barre, poor. You're living on the street and you're poor. Now, for the programs that used to be for poor, I mean, the income could go up to $125,000 easily. With no problem at all, even $400,000. We have programs for childcare money, $400,000 income for a family, a family, $200,000 if it's single.
Yeah.
So
where does all this money actually come from? Where?
Ta-da! You. There's no free lunch.
Yeah.
And that's why it is, and it grows every year. It's $18,000 per family, and it hurts when we have more poor people than ever before.
Oh, I know. That's it's sad to say that in this country.
But it's there. But it's also information too. It's not only money, expertise. I mean, that's how I found out using this. See, I had my Fortune 500 companies. Somebody want to invest in Maine potatoes. So I didn't know anything about potatoes. I didn't know anything about investing. But I'll poke around the government and find his name was Charlie Porter. He gets paid by the government to study Maine potatoes. And what's neat about him, nobody knows he's there. He's got a master's in agricultural economics, a PhD in agricultural economics, been studying potatoes for the last 20 years of his life. His wife is sick of hearing about him. And I find him, and this guy would just pour his heart out, and show me money programs to give to my clients and market studies that the government spent millions of dollars on. And here's the studies, and the problem wasn't getting the information. The problem was getting out of his office. That he was so happy to share. That's why that's why I think you need people, because people like sharing. People like helping people. And we're getting into a robot life where we're getting less and less in that, because the AI is gonna. But AI, it's good for finding grants, because if you use AI, you could say, I want to find financial help to start a business from nonprofit organizations or government offices. If you put that in, then you don't get all the crap selling you something. And I know those offices pretty well, and every time I try it, they're right on. You could put in 50 offices in Orlando and from government and nonprofit that will help me start a business. You'll get all real stuff and no bullshit. You go to Google, you get 2 billion.
Yeah. Yeah. And all spams.
Right, exactly. And you'll never get out alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
but
Man.
I think it's all, you have to rely on people more too to get what you want, because they study all this stuff. So if Charlie Porter, he's been studying this for 20 years, yeah, why am I going to go through Google and get 5,000, articles or whatever? Charlie would tell me the two to read. Because all the rest is, especially now with the internet and all the fake news, and everybody's a publisher, everybody's a broadcaster too.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Everybody wants to broadcast.
Right. So who knows? But there is real help out there from real people that are in the business to help other people, and that's a community. Capitalism is good too. I mean, capitalism got more people out of poverty, I think, than most other things in the world. Yeah. And even like China, their form of capitalism brought up, I don't know, like hundreds of millions of people out of poverty. Just taking advantage of capitalism. So there's good parts of it, but like everything, it doesn't fix every problem.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. So you have
So
to.
before we wrap up the show, again, where can people find you?
Leskohelp.com. Or if you don't want to give me $20, you go to findhelp.com.
There you go. Yeah. What would you like to offer as our audience today as a takeaway? Words of wisdom.
Well, the older I get, the more I feel your heart is smarter than your brain. We think we're so smart. We go to experts and all this, and everybody's guessing. Nobody knows what to do. But everybody pretends they know what to do, so they get charged a lot of money. And even if you find the right answer what to do, I feel you can't make it happen if your heart's not in it. So the heart is the name of it. Everything in life is a pain in the ass. It's going to be roadblocks, going to be stuff to get over through. So life is going to beat you up if you're human. If you're not human, it won't beat you up. But if you're human, like the rest of us, it's going to beat you up. And to get through all that stuff, your heart has to be in it, because then you'll stop. And I think that's with personal relationships and professional relationships.
Yeah. We can't just quit. We just
Right.
keep digging,
Exactly.
keep digging and digging
Right.
and digging, and the right thing will come out. The right
Right.
thing will.
You're right.
Sometimes you won't find exactly.
Right, exactly.
You'll find something to lead you on that next path.
But that's how I see it. My life is all, I think this will work, but then that's why I think it's wise to spend money finding something, because you're probably on the wrong path, but that will show you the right path.
Yeah.
And because what you think the world is, and you go out there and do it. Oh, the world isn't that way. Nobody wants that.
Yeah. Market research first.
Right, exactly.
Oh, man. Matthew, it's a blessing to have you on, man. I appreciate
thank
the
you.
info.
Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
You're definitely very welcome. You got to let me know when you come to Florida.
Oh, definitely. Yes. Get my suntan lotion out.
Yeah.
Get down there. Yeah.
I mean, usually everybody from Canada, this is the time where all the people from Ontario and stuff like that, they're everywhere. But
hey, keeps the economy going.
Yep.
It's
Matthew,
thank you so much. You, Paul.
You are very welcome. You're very welcome.
Talk to you.
Thank you, everybody, for watching Conscious Radio Network's The Seance, and we will see you next time.